Hello everybody and welcome back. This is week number 4 of the EU qualifiers for the Quake World Championships. And our next series of the night is going to be Memphis versus Luke IE.
So this is going to mark our halfway point when this one's over. And once again, just to remind any of you that are watching, every single match you're going to be watching today is basically do or die. Every week we play down to our top 16 and then on Sunday, we'll play through those top 16 games to get to our top 8. The top 8 will be meeting again in regionals in a few weeks' time, where the best places will make it to the Quake World Championships. So every single series today, if you win, you make regionals. If you lose, as this is the last time to qualify, you are eliminated from the Quake World Championship.
Now, I said this on Thursday, and it makes me quite sad, because there is so much Quake talent, not only in EU, but worldwide. And we're seeing that in community tournaments and NA within the World Championship and EU here within the World Championships. There is a lot of talented players. But at the end of the day, not everyone can make regionals and not everyone's going to make
There are
World
more talented players than there are spots for them to earn in the regionals.
I feel like that's really healthy because so many people are dangerous in their own right. So when you are the community, and as a community you're leveling up and you're learning the game, there's plenty of people out there that can develop the game together. And it results in good gameplay. And what we're seeing right now is some of the highest level Quake gameplay that can exist at this point.
So we just saw, speaking of which, sort of case in point, Evil. We just saw him. Evil entered this week for the first time, apparently, in these dual qualifiers. And in his first week of entering, he managed to qualify for regionals fairly convincingly. I mean, it was a 2-0 all the way through. The first map in his series looked to be quite back and forth, but ultimately it did go to his favor. And the second map was very dominant. And we have players like that. A lot of them qualified early. Some of them haven't had the chance to play as much and have qualified a little bit later on. Even Zoot, we saw in the first set today, play really well. And even Zoot's going to be finding himself qualifying for playing well. And that seems to be a running theme of the day. And a lot of these series, with the exception of the one we just saw, have been last map, 3 maps, and in some cases, absolute down to the wire.
There's one thing that we're learning, and that's dedication is rewarded. A lot of players that we're seeing today and will be seeing soon after some of these sets are finished are players that have been entering every single week. And realistically, a lot of them, by default, have to qualify today because there's so many players in this top 16 that have been in weeks before and haven't quite made it that a bunch of them will be making it through. And their dedication will be rewarded with a final regional placing. They got there in the end, and that's something they can really recover on and go right. So it took a long time, but we finally reached the first step, which is qualifying for regionals. And then you've now got 2 weeks to get your head screwed on, knuckle down, and focus on what comes next. Bit of a level difference between these two, 80 to 19. Oh my word.
So that Nyx and Ranger, I think Nyx Ranger Clutch is very much becoming the tried and true standard.
Clutch is the go-to big champion these days. It really is, because he's got the health, he's got the mobility, he's got the ability which can soak up damage as both a defensive and aggressive tool. He is just a all-rounder, which is massive and full of health.
I think this matchup we're about to see particularly is a good, or will be a good sort of observation for, I suppose, I don't want to say old, because the game really hasn't been out long enough for there to be an old meta by now, but at the start of basically the season, when it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was like we'd see Nyx, Ranger, and Anarchy as like a core, or even Nyx and Anarchy together as like the tried and true pairing. Very much Clutch has replaced Anarchy in that lineup.
Is Anarchy old and busted, and Clutch is new hotness?
Anarchy is old and busted, and Clutch is the new hotness.
I mean, you can't put a spoiler on Anarchy. You just give him a sign that says...
You can actually put a spoiler on Clutch to make him a big, fast race car, and now he's got the speed to match.
I feel like at this stage, the spoiler makes sense.
And Anarchy's shaders don't look anywhere near as good.
Can't turn him into a bright yellow... What was that? Who had the bright yellow robot that you love so much? It was Vishtal, right?
Of course. But starting things off, normally we see Clutch up first. It looks like Luke is going to be going for Ranger instead. Memphis starting off with Anarchy. Anarchy being dangerous on the front. Hang on, are we going to see a fight straight? Wow! Memphis went straight for the super shotgun.
He survived that as well. Anarchy with that heavy armor.
Didn't expect to see the first
This is
frag.
a very fast game so far. This is a complete night and day change of what we have just seen from 3 series.
Yeah, 20 seconds and 1 champion dead on either side.
Okay, so already Anarchy and Ranger are gone.
We actually normally see Anarchy survive for quite a while after that sort of first initial frag, but he actually dies straight away. Back to the sort of Nyx mirror situation.
Players are really starting to watch out for that Ghost Walk now.
And here we go, sort of going back to a bit of a more of a tried and true pace leading into the rest of this, I think. Now, just only just a minute passed on the clock for the amount of chaos that's already taken place.
Well, both playing Nyx. Both can have access to Ghost Walk, which is, I think, by default, automatically going to just slow the pace down because they've got that free escape. And seeing him reappear, but Luke has his Ghost Walk as well. Oh, misses the rail. It. That would have been a real changer. Oh, dangerous situation to be in there. 13 health, getting chased down by the LG. Luke down to his clutch, but catching clutch on spawn. This was always a really good way to deal with clutch. If you can catch him the second he spawns before he can get going, you might be in a good spot. Unfortunately, Luke spawned right next to a rocket launcher, which was exactly the weapon he needed.
But he does only have a little bit of health. If Memphis can find him early, he will be able to finish him down.
It's going to take him quite a long time to recharge to full with that 5 per second as well.
Memphis hasn't seen him. Memphis can't hear him either.
That literally sounds like a car that is getting its fuel topped up.
It does a bit. Oh, rocket around the corner. Memphis, here again.
However, that small amount of time it took for Luke to just sit there in that blood pool and heal himself back up. He's now nice and healthy with 4 seconds left. But teleporting into a clutch with the Dire Orb, now he has no escape. I'm not sure I agree with that decision.
No, Memphis is alive, but one more rail will take him down. No, he doesn't quite connect. Heavy armor tries to get it in the mid-air. Memphis being a little bit predictable towards the heavy armor, I think, and Luke is going to take him down. Good shot all around and clutch. It's actually quite a nice change of pace. Obviously, this is a very common team we've seen plenty of times today already, but definitely not in this order. Clutch is usually sort of just thrown up first things first, but Luke playing in that sort of like anchor position.
Immediately taking the heavy armor and mega away from Memphis. And seeing as that's Anarchy, the divide of health is so prominent at this stage. It's down for a fair while as well. 15 seconds still. Caught from behind. Does actually choose to commit, goes in for the mega, but Luke does manage to take it again, forcing the injection away from Memphis.
Oh, look at the speed. Such a hard target to hit.
Yeah, he's so fast there. There really wasn't much Luke could do to stop Memphis from just sort of swooping in and taking that heavy. Gonna be kind of hard to hit these rockets against Anarchy, but it doesn't matter too much. Luke gets it anyway with 10 health to spare. Half a second longer and he would have died there.
Oh, we can see Memphis actually not running towards him, so I think Luke is going to be able to quite safely get this health armor back up, but heavy armor's going to take a little while to respawn. Speaking of which, heavy armor up any second now. Ooh, wow.
Memphis still down on champion, so you really need to see him be a little bit more on point. It feels like so far, Memphis is catching Luke in some great fights. Some good scenarios to fight, but Luke is just coming off better because he's just getting a bit more damage. A bit more bang for his buck, really. This is good for Memphis, though, because he's been able to sort of deny the mega health, push him away.
Oh, none of those nails connected at all.
No more rockets! Memphis has no more rockets left. Nice trail of LG, though. Doesn't really need the rockets for that. Now he's back up to full.
Or at the very least, more than enough to do the job.
I feel like in some ways Memphis was throwing a bit of a lifeline there where Luke didn't have the rocket to sort of spray down across the
the aggressive Ghost Walk, but he doesn't use it properly.
Oh! Ultimately, these trades will always be in Luke's favor as long as he's got that champion advantage, but no rail just yet. He's taking a lot of rails, but never enough to really score the frag so far. But Memphis is sort of keeping him away.
Let's not forget, if in all of these trades Luke keeps coming off alive, he is going to be winning them basically because he does have that champion advantage. Oh, big hit.
That one even sounded chunky. You don't even need to see a damage number to know that one hurt.
Oh no, ever so slightly off the mark.
Yeah, stolen away. Good use of that Ghost Walk. Oh no, he tried to rocket jump up to get the heavy armor.
Rockets.
He had no rockets. Doesn't matter too much though, he still manages to take it regardless. With 2 minutes left. As long as they play this back and forth game, Luke is going to be the one in control of this. Here comes Memphis, he understands he needs to make something happen. One rail into Dire Orb. No teleport though. A little bit risky,
no, he's playing safe.
Yeah, playing it safe makes a lot of sense in this situation.
Wow, another good mid-air. That's definitely not the first time Luke's been doing that in this one map alone.
Consistently low on rockets though, is Luke so far.
Oh,
Up the backside.
Yep.
I was about to say, same thing. One of the most obvious bottom shots of all time.
Range will be alright.
There we go. 1 minute 15 left, but now the job that Memphis has to do is just much harder. Double the work than it was before.
Oh, that was a big shot. Oh, and he made the read. Memphis definitely needed to get that. Oh, he threw the Dire Orb first. Memphis teleported himself out of danger. That was smart.
It was smart, but as you can see here, Luke is not remotely interested in fighting. He wants to keep that distance and keep that distance for as long as possible. You wonder actually on spawn, who's he going to go with? Clutch or Nyx? Who does he want to survive with? More health and shield or less health and invincibility? If he gets hit by one more rail, we might have to see it, but will it even matter? Memphis pushing the advantage because he has no choice, but Luke capitalizing fully and just finishing him off with the LG instead.
I mean, even if he had lost Ranger there, he still had 2 champions left to go to survive for literally just 30 seconds. Either one of those remaining champions could have done a good job stalling the clock, but didn't even need to. 1 round away from winning this first map.
Another similar start. Memphis hasn't really been able to get anything going with his Anarchy. That's been one of his big problems, is that Anarchy is normally quite a dangerous starting character. You see him picked quite often first, but Memphis hasn't really been able to get him going.
Oh. See already Lucas sort of controlling this mid area again. Everything's about to spawn. Oh, good shot.
Another vital rail to hit on him. Hitting Anarchy with that rail.
Wow.
Yeah. About to say, hitting Anarchy with that rail and forcing him away puts him in such a bad position because one good rocket, one good rail, and he's going to be gone like that in the blink of an eye. Memphis down again. Luke on the verge of a 3-0. Have that Dire Orb. Can afford to tank 2 rails, but really doesn't want to take too much of it, I don't think. That was a painful position to try and hold right there. Memphis trying to sort of deny the heavy armor, but unfortunately completely vulnerable to rockets, and a 100 rocket forcing him away. Luke is just in full control. His control
has been
of
the
this
whole
whole
time, though. Yeah, Luke. I mean, it's almost just been exclusively his Ranger. Oh, a lot of damage this time, though.
We haven't even really needed to see Luke's clutch in action. Yeah, just knock him straight back up the jump pad. Luke only with 2 rockets, so he's not going to be able to get a huge amount of payout if he catches him up close. So now he's sort of making that trail back towards Mega. Stock up on those all-important rockets.
Only 2 minutes on the clock, though, so plenty of time left for Memphis to make this comeback. We have seen it already today. It's just very difficult. Oh, landing a lot of damage, and just like that, Luke is going to be moving on with 1 champion left to take down before he takes his first map.
That really is a testament as to why Nyx's Ghost Walk is so necessary for her. Because if she hasn't got it, she is one of the absolute easiest to kill. And teleporting into the Mega, Luke not looking to stay. That's quite a good decision, actually, where Memphis was able to get a little bit of control back, take that Mega, and force Luke to retreat there, establish a bit of range, but
Luke definitely doesn't seem to like fighting unless he has full everything. And that makes sense.
Good practice. Again, Luke's consistently low on his rockets. Gets tagged by 1 rail, but we've seen before, 1 rail hasn't really been enough to deter Luke. He's been fighting regardless because his rockets, and it really is his rockets that have been doing so much damage. He's winning most of these exchanges because of it.
And once Again, here we are. I mean, Memphis doing a job of keeping himself topped up, but he has a lot of work to do, and the clock is running down. And even at the half left. Ooh. Memphis actually seems to be eating a lot of damage consistently going for this heavy armor, and has done it all game. He needs to be really careful when choosing to go for that.
It has
Luke is always ready to hit it.
In this one instance, though, it actually has benefited him. I mean, he actually teleports towards the dire orb. He's going to make the ultimate read and try and commit to this. He understood that he was definitely stacked enough to make it happen, but Luke's not going to overextend here. He's got 1 minute 15. All he has to do is stay alive without losing 2 champions. Here we go. That 1 minute warning just about now.
1 minute warning in both power-ups. If Memphis can secure these and get a frag now, he's going to start his comeback, but he's just eating so much damage.
I really like this decision of Luke, though, to just kind of sit pretty from far away, and the second Memphis collects a Mega or collects a Heavy Armor, hit him with just 1 rail and just undo the damage. If you undo the damage that they've just picked back up, they're not going to be as brave when they push that advantage, because they've just got regular health again.
Yeah, Luke looks like he really wants to just content to run away for 40 seconds.
If he can survive this long,
yeah, Memphis isn't letting him. He's trying to chase him down, but Luke being a slippery pickle. Look at this.
This looks very frustrating to deal with. Like, Memphis is just looking for him as well. Like, I even thought he'd lost him temporarily. He's just gonna listen. And yet, just the read.
Oh! Yeah, Memphis really trying to chase him, but Luke is not making it easy.
Just covering his bases. Keeping his back turned as often as possible. The missed rail. Another missed rail. At this stage, that's it. Game over. Luke is going to go up 1 map. And nice defensive play there. It wasn't actually just pure runaway. He was consistently running away with his back towards wherever Memphis was located. So even when he saw him, he was able to sort of catch those retreating shots. Or even if he's trying to chase, if he eats a rail while trying to chase or a direct rocket while he tries to chase, he's either going to frag him or make him so weak he can't really fight. And if he does fight, it's overcommitting, of which he has no choice.
Well, that's just good tactics, right? That's just good use of the clock. It's not just, I'm just going to not turn around. I'm just going to keep running and running and running, because they're probably going to shoot you with rails while you try and run. If you're not turning around and firing back, you're just going to eat free damage all day, every day. But if you're trying to actually act avidly, deter them from chasing you down with rockets, with any kind of damage, with whatever it is that you've got, you make yourself just all that harder to chase. And when he realized he had like that minute left to stall out with that 2 champion advantage, makes complete sense. And I expect we'll be seeing way more of that today as we go on. Because winning by timeout with the massive champion advantage, I mean, it's a very stable way to secure a victory.
One of the safest ways as well is that if you try and secure a frag, you put yourself at risk. And if you put yourself at risk and you go down, then that's either a trade now and you've got to get the frag to win again, or you risk them starting a comeback on you. But a big thing that worries me, we didn't even see Luke's clutch in that game. And
this is his secret weapon.
We already know how dangerous clutch is as a champion in the game. And in that map in particular, of which, talking of maps, are on Corrupted Keep now, we didn't even need to see his clutch. So he's got 2 champions that are capable of winning these rounds without him. What happens when you finally need him?
And once again, Blazkowicz in retaliation
Corrupted
to the
Keep.
clutch. I mean, Corrupted Keep really does seem to just define the Blazkowicz.
It's got a champion pool of its own, like by far, for sure.
Yeah, indeed. But Ranger just seems to work on everything. And it really seems to be that some of the stronger champions of the game are the champions that just work well on every map. That you can pick them anywhere and it will kind of make sense. I think Ranger's one of them. Clutch is very quickly becoming one of them. Anarchy we almost never really see on Blood Run anymore. I mean, obviously aside from Memphis just now, but I mean, ultimately it just seems hard to just keep that going, because there's a lot of fighting happens on Blood Run. It's quite obvious to know where people are going to be going, and it's quite easy to chase people down, it seems. And Anarchy just seems to really thrive on being able to play that runaway style, being able to top himself up safely in between fights. And Blood Run, you just don't get the opportunity to do that as much. Whereas Clutch can, in the middle of a fight, safely stabilize with that barrier. Ranger just has the Dire Orb to just move in ways that you cannot chase down unless you are Ranger yourself. So these champions that really sort of tick all the boxes and are playable on every map. However, Corrupted Keep, we always see a lot of Blazkowicz. Clutch, especially effective on this map. So this is going to be a bit aggressive, I think.
So, this could potentially be the final map.
Maybe. Perhaps. I think it depends if Luke can keep playing the way he is. Because right now, he is just controlling from start to finish how this is played.
So far, it looks like Luke's clutch really is his final frontier. Like, where it's something he picks at the last possible moment. Uncharacteristic, considering we normally see clutch get picked first, but Memphis gets a good rocket to get that early frag. Losing the Ranger already, and Ranger was the champion that did the bulk of the work on Blood Run.
I think a big part of that is just prioritizing. They said Memphis spawning near the rocket launcher gave him access to that powerful weapon immediately, whereas Luke opted to go for heavy armor in his super shotgun, and just like that, Luke is able to even things out, and then once again, Anarchy is already dead.
Memphis down on that saw lag. Nyx has got an answer to saw lag though. In fact, the invisibility and invincibility will essentially nullify the acid ticking damage.
This is going to be interesting to see how Luke plays this though. Memphis on the saw lag, haven't seen him play this yet, but we know saw lag can be dangerous on this map.
Ghost Walk used immediately. The danger is now if Memphis catches him here and then goes in for the spray, of which it doesn't connect, misses it.
Oh, Memphis, how low is he at the moment?
That's got to be 1 HP, or 2, or 3, like that. Oh, I'm done. I'm done the damage. But that had to be 1 HP.
Oh, another 100, and he's still alive.
Misses the... Does actually
alive.
misses the mid-air. Went for a second one, and the missile just ever so slightly missed.
Now Memphis desperately needs to take this round just to get some momentum back in his favor, just to give himself some breathing room. He's trying so hard in this round, but if he loses this one, then Luke is just going to get that one step closer to eliminating him.
Here comes Clutch, though. Got to be worried about that. Nah, yeah, no doubt. We all heard that heavy armor just get collected. There's only one champion that could have got it.
Oh, no. The floor is literal lava.
Indeed.
Oh, but there's that health regen, so immediately undone. Let's just forget it ever happened. What happened? There's no lava on this level. What am I talking about?
On his little feet, which he melted. But it's okay now.
Tango on the floor.
There's a certain line, but I don't want to get sued for copyright.
Let's just keep talking about the match. There we go. Luke really stacking up though. Look at the health and armor values already.
Well, the time it took for us to have this ridiculous conversation, he's just been getting health and armor for days, and he's fully up there ready to go now. Here comes the dual wield.
Popped a little bit preemptively though. Memphis now massively down on health and armor. Just wears out.
But he got minimal spray off of it. I think he used it preemptively, maybe expecting him to come through the door. But when he realized he wasn't going to go anywhere near it, he tried to head him off to the right. And although he was successful, he didn't have nearly enough of the dual wield left.
But a good round all around for Luke. Again, we get to see his clutch for basically, yeah, the first time, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first time we saw him use clutch. Dire Orb very almost connected there, and that would have hurt Anarchy big time. That 100 damage Dire Orb against someone like him will just melt the health.
Memphis is behind.
He's got a very aggressive Anarchy style for this map, where you almost think he's running away, but instead he's just doubling back and he'll loop behind you. Here comes the rocket, nice catch, and again, the Ranger goes down immediately.
Yeah, Memphis is playing at 100 miles an hour so far. He has Rocket, has topped himself back up to full again, and he has the Mega Health. This is what Memphis needs to do.
There's that Ghost Walk, but it's going to be very easy for Memphis to catch up to him if he gets a read, but unfortunately he just wasn't able to read where Luke was going to retreat to. No mid-airs. That is, he's taking big damage, even if it's this far away. Anarchy doesn't like taking those little pellets of damage. There's the Mega.
Trading Mega for heavy.
Here he comes. Wow. Minimal damage done though, unfortunately. He's lost all of the health that he just got back. Staying true to this very fast-paced, never-stop-moving style. Knocked himself into the air, but hasn't done any damage just yet. Luke's in a little bit of trouble, uses his Ghost Walk.
Yeah, Memphis thought he'd use the teleporter, but unfortunately incorrect. And Luke gets away for free that time.
Memphis had a hard time really getting a read on when he's going to be sort of re-emerging from that Ghost Walk. I don't think he's been on the money just yet throughout this entire map.
I think it depends on where you go, because if you Ghost Walk in the room with the Mega Health, there are a lot of exits.
Well, the issue is that there's so many places that you can go, right? So on this map in particular, it's quite a hard read. Just got to commit. I think Memphis is just content controlling this majorly important room. You've got the LG there, it's very close to rocket launcher, Mega at the bottom. If he controls this room, he makes it very tricky for Luke to really press any form of advantage. Needs to go and get more rockets. Coming up behind, but he just took so much damage. He's going to have to use his injection. But again, he's only got 78 health. That really isn't much when it comes to tanking high damage rockets.
trying to chase. Heavy Armor going to try and secure it. And Memphis really playing for that controlling game now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, Luke was trying to wait for him, but wasn't quite ready.
I think, even though Memphis clearly saw him, I think he just wanted to run past him there. Just avoid him for a while.
Yeah, may as well stack up. Look how healthy he is.
A little bit of fumbled movement there, so it's going to waste a couple of seconds. And if anything is apparent, like what we saw with Chronic, is that wasting any time at all is costly. There we go, catches him on the reemerge. And now Luke down to his clutch. We have to see a 3 straight comeback, but clutch did look unbelievably dangerous. Taking the rocket launcher early, I think denying it. Not quite actually, the rocket launcher has already respawned. Wow, that was a fast turnaround.
Yeah, Luke trying to make a read on where he's going to be, but are you quite able to keep up with him?
Definitely not. Even Clutch can't keep up with Anarchy when he's riding his momentum. As you can see here, Memphis completely happy playing this game. Just run rings around him for the entire round.
Oh, a lot of damage coming through Memphis once again. Good at the runaway. Top himself back up to full immediately.
1 minute warning.
The pressure is on though. Chasing down an Anarchy when there's 60 seconds left really isn't the easiest of tasks. Got in for his shield wall just to guarantee it, but that means he's not going to have it for this fight if Memphis is even interested in fighting. There we go.
Doesn't even need to. Going to easily take that round in return, and that's a big one for Memphis, just to show that he can take rounds here. And it was down to Anarchy, but I think it comes down to he needs to hold onto that Anarchy early. If he loses it, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Slower change of pace here though. With some of the matches are a bit, they can be explosive, but Luke not looking as dominant as he was on Blood Run.
Oh wow, these nails are going to start to add up. Oh, but Memphis very low. Oh,
that was
super shotgun.
I mean, yeah, the second he noticed how much damage that rocket did, I'm not surprised to see him swap to the super shotgun. Even the smallest tickle would take out Anarchy at that health. Sorlag. We haven't really had a chance to see Sorlag do a whole lot yet. There's the 100 damage Dire Orb, but the damage is ticking away, and more importantly, it's showing Memphis exactly where Luke is on the map. Memphis is going to know how weak he is too.
Already back up to 100 though. Curious to see how Memphis plays the rest of this round without the Anarchy. Did so much work last time.
Oh, he almost ate that rocket direct. The tide has turned somewhat though. Memphis pretty much played the entire round playing extremely defensively, staying very mobile, hard to pin down, while the clock really sort of added the pressure. There's direct, massive damage. Memphis looking to chase it by the looks of things, but
unfortunately walks straight into that one, but it's going to be able to get mega health now, so Memphis doesn't have that. He just got heavy armor instead. As a tanky dino.
Here it comes. There's the acid ticking down. Again, it's showing him exactly where Ranger is.
Yeah, he's chasing it down.
I wonder if he's expecting him to go all the way around, though. Looking to head him off.
Oh,
Almost.
Very nearly. Looked like it was going to be a mid-air.
Memphis is being relentless with this pressure. Staying on him at all times. The danger is Luke just got that mega, so he's going to be nicely stacked up. He's not going to be as vulnerable if he gets caught off guard now.
Approaching the halfway mark to this round now. Luke with the stable lead, but Memphis could pull it back at any minute.
Oh, that's a good start. No doubt Luke would have seen that. At the very least, it's going to keep Memphis a little bit timid from pushing that mega. We're seeing Memphis play a heavy sort of defensive runaway style. It's almost as if you'd think that he has the champion lead here. I think he's just looking for his moment.
The problem is, I don't know how much longer he can afford to play this way. Oh, he's trying to go aggressive now.
Double
and it's going to work.
Double back with the die roll, but it wasn't enough. We were just talking about how he's playing a very sort of runaway style game, looking for his moment, and that was the moment he was looking for.
That makes complete sense. Playing patient until it's time to go all in.
Sorlag with that bunny hop passive. She is nice and nimble.
Once again, though, this is a matchup that we haven't seen go so well for Nyx so far today.
Another fight, but definitely not in the favor of Luke, with Memphis having so much health. Looking to take the armor as well, tries to pepper the ground with acid, and he does get it. That is a weak Nyx, but he's taken so much rocket damage. The chase with the LG. Luke back on form. And now he needs one more frag.
Right now, this is interesting. 1 minute warning again. Memphis has the health to shred. But this is a ghost walk potential for Nyx. Are we going to see Luke run away for 50 seconds now? We're going to see him avoid fights.
Well, he's got Ghost Walk, so the second he sees that dual wield, he's going to be able to get out of that for free.
We're going to have time for one more health and armor pickup in this round before we are done.
That's 40 seconds, almost 35 already. This is a fast minute at the moment. There we go. Don't even take the risk, just get out of there. And unfortunately, Memphis not correct with the prediction of where he's going to reappear.
Went the wrong way, but I mean, you have to try, right? You have to read one of the ways.
Especially in the situation when you've only got 20 seconds left. It's definitely possible, but he needs to find him right now. But to be honest, no one really tends to go in that hallway.
20 seconds away from Ghost Walk, he doesn't have that option to escape.
Memphis looking to chase, but he's got 5 seconds.
I think that's probably it, unless Memphis can find him straight away. Now, that's going to be it. That's going to be it. Now Luke finds himself on match point with another timeout.
Timeouts are your best friend. If you have the advantage and you can play that runaway game, the opponent can't find you. They have to really listen out. And if they can't listen out because you're standing still or because you're walking, they just need to make that read. Where would I be if I was hiding, you know?
And Memphis lost his Anarchy quite early last time. You have to try really hard to keep hold of it. So he gets the rocket launcher taken away from Anarchy. Can be huge.
Oh,
in the air!
Minimal tracking on the LG, though. Memphis gets away.
Oh, he still jumps. I don't know if I agree with the aggression there.
Not only getting that rocket launcher ammo back, but making sure Memphis can't pick it up if he has to fight up close.
I've seen it, right? The only weapon that Memphis is shooting at with is a shotgun, which might work out well here if he's this close. Yes, it will. Memphis gets the frag. Don't underrate the super shotgun, even though he did
Look at his
5 health.
He was almost dead, 100%. That was a really clutch execution there. LG forcing out the Ghost Walk. Luke unbelievably weak, and the prediction! That was just rude. That was just rude. That was just, hi mate, I know you're there, bam, dead.
It never hurts, right? I mean, what's the cost of potentially wasting one rocket? The reward is dead Nyx.
Exactly. 100%.
Luke's popped his barrier. Oh, thought it was going to knock him off the edge there. Oh, runs through the heavy armor.
Gameplay-wise, it definitely seems like gameplay-wise, Memphis is waking up. Like in this round in particular, like he's just been on point, his movement's been good, his predictions have been good, his accuracy has been phenomenal. It just needs to matter, it needs to count. He's so weak here though. Luke is on the verge of death, going in for the suicide.
Wait,
That's
what?
It. He just blew, I mean, he just blew himself up.
Interesting.
I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah, Memphis is a bit confused as well. I see.
That's it. I don't know why. That was such a casual suicide. I didn't even think it was a big deal. But he lost the round on it. Well, thank you very much for that.
Took me a few seconds to process what he'd actually done.
That was the last thing I was expecting. I'm just watching it and go, and he gets the suicide. It's like, wait, what?
And once again,
what if he loses the map because of that?
But this is still match point for Luke. If he can take this round, he will be in a much better situation. Well, i.e. he will have qualified for regionals.
Exactly. Nice rocket. Looking to get
Memphis,
more.
Memphis desperately needs this just to stay alive in the Quake World Championship, and that's a good way to start things off. He's going to take out Luke's Ranger, this champion that's probably been doing the best out of his lineup so far.
And Luke once again has gone in for that Nyx.
Looks like Memphis is spending almost the entire game at maximum anarchy speed, just running around being a general nuisance.
He's dangerously low on rockets though, which I think is why he's turning towards the right to get some of those back. Going behind. Yeah, no doubt Luke would have heard that one.
Wow, and that's a good return frag for Luke. A clean kill onto Anarchy, but once again, Nix and Sorlag. This matchup hasn't worked out well for Luke before now. He's going to have to change that now, or he's going to have to take an entirely new map.
Oh, managed to
respectable damage.
Yeah, managed to catch him on spawn. And again, this is Nix versus Sorlag, so if he gets hit by the ticking damage, he's not going to be completely vulnerable to it, but it's going to force him to use it at a situation that he might not want to use it in, so. We saw Memphis play Sorlag last time. It was very slow and calculated. The second he realized he could go in for the massive burst, that's the only time he would go in when he wanted to get the frag 100%. Other than that, he would just run away and get stacked up.
Oh, I thought that was going to connect. Another direct to follow up, though.
That one definitely did.
But Memphis, he is in the church, so there's going to be a ton of extra armor and health in there.
Memphis didn't catch that. Oh. Here comes the rockets. The acid immediately using the invisibility to deter it, but not much you can do to get around it. Still a little bit of health left. This chunky lizard is still alive. Memphis on the back foot, and that rocket, I'm inclined to think that's going to be enough, and it will be. Memphis's tournament life in the World Championship lies on the Blazkowicz. Is it enough to do it, though?
I'm not sure. If he uses the dual wield to take out Nix, he's going to have nothing to deal with the barrier. At the same time, he can't let Nix survive.
Will he even have the chance to deal with the barrier? That is the question right now. Plenty of time left in the round, but going in for this mega, a little bit risky, but Luke actually conceding it, letting him take it instead. He'll get the heavy armor. But now he's got heavy armor and
Memphis pick up both, he'll be okay, and he's managed to stop that at least.
Second Luke catches sight. Uh-oh. That rocket just hurt big time. Undid all of the mega.
Oh, oh, that was a good shot from Memphis.
Really good shot. Didn't see him going for Ghost Walk though. Memphis, he's one good rocket away from going out and his life in this tournament being done.
He has a few pickups. Those defensive rockets trying to stop Luke from following him. Has already managed to get himself back up to full health again. Memphis is doing good for himself to keep him alive. Heavy armor though again.
Luke has the heavy.
Oh,
now
the chase!
He's in danger.
Oh,
that's
it! Chase! Memphis biting off a little bit more than he could chew in that situation, and at the same time he had to make a play at some point, but unfortunately he was just waiting for him, and Luke is able to finish him off and advance through to the regionals over Memphis.
When you're in that situation and the pressure is on your opponent, I think you start to acknowledge that. You realize that, right, the ball's in my court. They have to make something happen here, otherwise they're going home. That is a stressful situation. That's a situation not many people know how to deal with. That's a situation not everyone has actually been in themselves. So if you know that they're feeling the pressure because they are this close from elimination, you can start to very easily bait those, not mistakes as such, but you can bait the aggression because they kind of have to be in that situation. If they make nothing happen, well, you don't want to go out to a timeout.
Let's quickly weigh it out. One champion away from losing his tournament life in the Quake World Championship. One round away from losing it. Down on maps. The map that he chose and the clock. He had like 1 minute and 10 seconds left or something like that. Like very much the odds stacked against you. So what do? Do you continue to do what you've done up until that point, which, if the map is still going on and you're not winning it, currently probably isn't working as well as you'd want it to, or do you do something rash to just try and desperately just cling the match back into your hands, which we see people try and do, but unfortunately for Memphis, it just was not going to work that time.
So once again, it's going to come down to, we're going to see more clutch players move on, which is always good with this sort of champion sort of coming out of the woodwork at this stage. That was, I actually heard when you mentioned that behind the scenes, people really like that one.
I'm just going to sulk in the corner now. You take it away.
So, we have another match coming up next. Huge congratulations. We'll be moving on and once again qualifying for the EU regionals. But while we get this next match underway, we're once again going to go for a quick break and I'll see you later.